instances of paranormal phenomena have been reported in this desolate place. Events that may reflect the area's tragic past.
Through.
What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the Ninjas Podcast. We talk all things paranormal. I'm Ken James, and this is Jason McKittrick.
Hey, folks.
And if we can haunt, howl, or dwell in the dark, we want to talk about it. And tonight, going back down the rabbit hole, folks.
I mean, do we ever really come out of it?
No. I mean, it's the way I want to live, man.
Right.
But tonight, going back down the rabbit hole, and we're going to touch on our main topic being where all the elites go to get wacky, Bohemian Grove.
The globalists.
Yes. Yes, those ones.
Human-animal hybrids.
Humanity's taking over the world. Frogs sucking each other off.
Yeah.
Yeah, but not so much. We're not going to go too Alex Jones here. I mean, we'll of course talk about him, but this is a real place, and a lot of people. I am shocked at the amount of people that don't know about Bohemian Grove, to be honest with you.
Yeah, I mean, it flies under the radar a little bit, I guess, but how could you not know about this? Is the one, man. This is the one where, you know, and if you know anything about it while we're doing our Alex Jones voices, not that we support that full, it's just that he snuck in there and got things on tape, and it's, you know.
And the rest is history. It's fucking wild, man.
It really is. First you get Bohemian Grove, and then next thing we know, we're talking about gay frogs.
Yeah. Which was also right. Which is also true.
I mean,
yeah, changes gender. We get it. Pesticides change frogs' gender. We get it.
Yeah. But I mean, when you're just pounding on a desk, yelling into a microphone, and you're basically the real world, you know, like J. Jonah Jameson.
Yeah. Well, the thing is, it worked for a while. You know, he made a lot of money.
Yeah, I mean, he also sowed a lot of, you know, sorrow.
Yeah, well, you know, comes with the territory, I guess. But we'll wait before we go off the deep end here.
Yeah.
We're gonna do a dual jump scare and haunted headline,
right?
Because just yesterday's episode of the JRE.
Mm-hmm.
David Grush was on there, the whistleblower from the hearings in front of Congress, and we got some fun stuff. Laser pointers. We got some fun stuff.
You right over there? Something happened?
Yeah, something came through the screen. It was I think maybe like an alien space ray.
Oh, I thought maybe you saw a body swinging.
No, not this time.
Not this time. No, we're
grounded.
We're staying on brand this time. It's all alien stuff.
Yes.
I even heard I heard reports. There have been some visual reports that Zip Zap and Gleep are in the area. So
it's like there's a Doppler. It's like Santa Claus.
Yeah.
They're being tracked right now.
Yeah.
I think they're somewhere over Albany right now.
What?
Albany.
I don't know what they're doing up there. I mean, although the Skull and Bones have like a house up there, so maybe that has something to do with it.
Yeah, you. It's almost like I knew that.
Almost. Yeah. So, you know, we started with one foot and shit talking about Alex Jones. Now we're gonna put our other foot in shit talking about Rogan. David Grush was on there, and you know, I saw that he was on there. I was like, you know, I want to hear this guy long form without being like interrupted. I was like, I want to hear what this guy is like, you know, as close to natural conversation as you can get. And yeah, I mean, he certainly believes what he's talking about.
Yeah,
you know, I mean, there's no
that like the whole like first 2 hours was just like Joe like just asking a question here and there. And just letting the guy rock, you know what I mean?
Yeah, he I mean, he's, you know, career military guy. I mean, career intelligence military guy. You know, he talked at length. I mean, he, you know, there were things he couldn't talk about, and as I'm listening to it, I'm like, trying to look things up about the guy, and like, nope, that's real. No, that's real. That's real. That's real. Okay. And then he also mentions during the thing they tried to after he came out with this stuff that the government tried to
character
discredit him.
Yeah.
That he had mental illness problems. Yeah. They're like, no, and he addressed it like straightforward. He's like, no, I had PTSD when I came back from Iraq. Yeah. He's like, and I was up front about it. He's like, and I dealt with it. He's like, I'm functioning. He's like, I don't have a mental illness problem.
Yeah. And he talked about his two friends, and one who was the best man. He was the best man at their wedding.
Yep.
It got tough. Yeah, it got tough there for a minute. You could tell even Rogan was kind of just like, I'm not interrupting. This is kind of.
It was good he let him talk because, he gave us, the guy gives you information and he can't tell you exact things. There's certain things he couldn't say.
Right.
But in no way, shape, or form is he saying, oh, maybe it's real. Like, this guy's like, no. Yeah. We have them. We've had them for a long time. And I even like the part where he mentions that, the 1930s was one of the earliest.
Yeah. He's like, I like to cite this because it's a fun story and it gives you just kind of an idea how, just how long, but it's longer. He's like, but I like to cite this point in time because this is kind of like the budding technology era, like right before World War II, where, that it kind of what's the word I'm looking for? It's just a good reference of where you can kind of understand where technologies take different turns and how he explained what happened with that craft and how it was like an artifact and Yeesh.
Well, I mean, there's a lot of that in there, and it's interesting because it's just these little hints at stuff that to me make this it's the spooky because I mean. If you have any kind of brain, I think everyone is just, you want to believe it, but you're also on the fence because it's I don't want to be the fool that's like, oh, I just bought it hook, line, and sinker, and this was some kind of psyop or some shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
If X-Files has taught us anything, it's that the smoking man is never resting. He's always coming up with shit to try to fuck with people.
Yeah. Yes.
You just got to stay spooky and, whatever. I want to believe, whatever it is. But no, man, I mean, just some of the things he alluded to that he couldn't say. Those were the things I was like, oh, that's kind of interesting. Just talking about, I even texted you. I was like, we got a new term, crypto-terrestrial. I was like, that is awesome. I was like, I identify as crypto-terrestrial.
Mm-hmm. You are. You do. You be that.
Yeah, it's in my company name. I didn't even know it was a thing. So, no, but it's super interesting. And then, as much as the guy was allowed to say, which I believe he does, whatever information he was given, whatever he was reading, wherever that's from, I really do think that he has what he can say, and that kind of lends an air of credibility. You know what I mean? It's he's not functioning in this world of delusion. The guy has worked in intelligence for 14 years.
Yeah. And
he briefed presidents. This guy's not,
Yeah, and his ability, he knows the procedures back to front. He knows the departments. He knows what they go through. And it's not like certain guys you'll hear that just kind of they riff, but it's rehearsed. It's no, the guy's pulling it. The guy's pulling it from his mind. He's worked in these sectors. He knows these people. Yeah. And he was talking about in the very beginning when he's talking about how he's cultivated his chain, right? He's cultivated his chain over the years of work, and that's what he had to do as an investigator. And I know full well, I get that. I like you're saying, he believes what he's saying, and even the stuff with the former majority leader of the House, that the dude in Vegas that he was talking about, and he's I can say his name because he's dead. I can.
Yeah. I mean, you could tell because he was pulling these he had the names for the numbers and stuff, could just pull it. You know what I mean? It was just oh shit.
Yeah.
He's oh well, that's Article 15 dash. It's oh, all right, so.
Yeah, all right. Those 2 points there. He's they're very written the specific way, so we could just push that and go
Yeah. So what's also interesting when he goes into the most interesting part that I think that you could pull from was that part where he's talking about from 1933 that this was in Italy, right? And this was under Mussolini's government. Yeah. And it was about where they recovered a quote non-human spacecraft in 1933, and the Vatican assisted.
Yes.
I was like, what?
Yes.
I was that's some Hellboy shit. What's going
on? Yeah. And then he said they called Germany.
Yeah, Germany comes in. It's oh, that was a bad idea.
Yeah. And they were like, let's look at this together. You know?
Yeah. And, I mean, that gets the gears spinning because then you start thinking about, like, there's the Nazi bell and, like, all their wonder weapons and all that shit. And it's just like, dude, is that where they got their stuff?
It has to. Yes.
And then, dude, your brain just spins because then you're like, and then I think Rogan interjects. He's like, yeah, well, this is where they say fiber optics came from. I'm like, what? Fiber optics came from aliens?
Yeah.
And then you just start...
Yeah. Well, the funny thing is, I've said that on this show before, and you cracked up. You were like, because I was like, fiber optics, huh? And you were just like, dude, shut up.
Yeah, because like in context, it's fun. Like, and I'm literally sitting in my basement listening to alien podcasts, and it's just like, all right, right. So it's super. It's like tantalizing, it's just like it's just out of reach. The guy can say just enough, but it's surreal because you're like, yeah, but this guy really did testify in front of Congress, and this guy is not some like clown. No. But every time I look at the pictures from the hearing, what? Go ahead.
Well, I was just gonna say, like, a couple of my favorite parts. Besides that, I loved that.
Yeah.
One was where I texted you when Joe asked him, like, well, where? Mm-hmm. Where? And he was like, you can infer from this and that, this and that. That's why I was like, dude, Antarctica totally has something to do with it. It's totally involved. Like,
I don't know anything about Antarctica.
It's just, oh yeah, well they made expeditions out there and all kinds of stuff like Hitler and.
Oh, I know that, but I don't know they have this spun into it.
Well, he was just talking about where. He was talking about like the locations and where will they find these things? Because he was saying, how many more do they find? Oh, he's like, I can't give you the number, but it's a lot. He's like, it's a lot.
Well, there's because unfortunately he said they were going to comment on it, but they didn't because he asked them about Bob Lazar. Remember that?
Yeah. Yes.
And I was like, oh shit, yeah, and they never got back to it. And I was like, god damn it. But his stuff seems to gel with this guy's stuff.
Yeah, well, he was talking to him about the one part where they get about the Bigelow airspace and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, Skinwalker Ranch.
Yeah, Skinwalker Ranch. When he starts talking about that, and he does reference a Bob Lazar part. Well, he doesn't directly do it, but it's actually from one of the old interviews with Bob Lazar, talking about the documentation on the religious aspects of it. Mm-hmm. And Bob Lazar, in his one interview, was like, the paperwork is like this thick. It's like, 4 inches big of the implications with religion this would have. So he did get back to that and talking about that. And then he even mentioned he's like the stuff with ghosts they're seeing, and the stuff with like even Bigfoot and other things. Like these things apparently tend to take form of other stuff. Yeah,
like, I mean,
flying propane tanks and shit.
Well, I mean that's them by analogy, like the same the Tic Tac. It looks they called it that. It's clearly it's some kind of they're related in some way. The problem when we start going down that hole is that it's just like, all right, now we're talking about everything. And like, if we're going to talk about this stuff in a constructive manner, I'm on board for it. But if you start telling me that like this stuff also involves ghosts and portals and like, it's like, just you got to keep it basic because it just that's when it just starts to just you get to the top. Oh, this is getting great. This is great, and then it just And I just I want to believe. I really do. I'm Fox Mulder here. I really do. And some of this stuff is extremely compelling. And I'm sitting here listening to the stuff that he's saying. It's the stuff that he wasn't saying that was actually more compelling to me.
Absolutely.
And that's why we included this as the haunted headline and jump scare because this is fucking scary. Like
it is.
Them talking about when he asked them like, oh, have we had contact with these he doesn't call them extraterrestrials. They're ultra dimensional, like extra dimensional. It's like that's
and yes, we have.
It's just hey, I if it's true, I so want to hear more, and I think it'd be really fascinating to hear what they're going to say, but. You can see just at face value why they don't want to release this kind of stuff because you would release that, people are just like, yeah, I'm not paying taxes anymore.
Yeah,
It's like you don't even own this planet.
Yeah, you don't even own this dimension.
It's so wide open and it's so just the whole thing just clicks. But then like extraterrestrial materials and like the reverse engineering has basically given birth to like our modern age. It's like, yeah, that does make sense. But at the same time, it's like, God, where are they? Like, are they just gone? Like, have they been dead for centuries, millennia? And we found their that's interesting too. You know what I mean? Like, did we dig up these artifacts? Like, did we dig up these crashed, ships and then got all this knowledge from their like leftover technology? Like, yeah, I know we're going full Lovecraft there, but
it could be. But the thing is, we're still having encounters, and he even said that it's still going on. He's like, this isn't just a United States thing.
Yeah. Oh yeah, Mexico knows what's up.
Yeah, Brazil.
I mean, we've seen the bodies this past summer. You know what's funny? I get my conspiracy theory hat on, and I'm like, you know what? This all seems to be right because everything's connecting here.
Yeah.
And then you read articles on this dude, and it's just complete character assassination.
Yeah.
And it's like, well, if he was a nobody and a crazy person and a hack and a nobody, then why did you let him, like, you can look at his, like, he did all these things. So what are you talking about?
Well, and like he
ruined his own career.
Right, yeah, exactly. But he brought up the two different senators that are holding up that bill.
Yeah.
And both of them are by, their biggest, contributors are Lockheed Martin and, a couple of the Air Force bases that have the big contractors there.
Yeah.
They're just like, keep this shut. Don't say anything. And they're the two senators holding up that bill, which is wild.
Yeah. And then he also, like, the way that he mentioned, like, he's like, he'd like to, at some point, to see, these things put in, like, the Smithsonian or museums like that. And that, like, made my fucking brain go. It's like, could you imagine going to, like, that just became accepted? It's like, well, here are these, just like, here's ancient Egyptian artifacts. Oh, here's also these non-human entities that we found. I don't know. Yeah. Here's the stuff. Here's what we know from it.
Yeah.
Your cell phone is birthed from this technology. It's like,
yeah, it's nuts, dude. It's brain melting stuff. And it's like, he even said, he's like, when you get to the spooky stuff,
yeah,
it's wild. It's like, it's just spooky.
And I know I think I know what he's suggesting, because that was like right after they were discussing Skinwalker Ranch, where it's like, if we're talking about ultra dimensional beings or crypto terrestrials, like, it's not about, like, yeah, they have these craft, but they're not essentially flying through, regular space. They're coming through some kind of, like, artificial wormholes or artificial black holes, and they're able to bend time and space. And it's like, well, okay, well, I want to see it. Come on. I want to see it.
You show us, man.
Yeah. So, dude, very mind bending. I had to watch it because I was just like, I got to watch this. I got to hear what this guy has to say. And I'm so glad it was just him by himself, because I was about to say earlier, every time you see like video or pictures from the hearing with stupid Jeremy Corbell behind him, I just want to vomit. I'm just like, dude, get this guy out of here.
Yeah.
I don't know if I've voiced my displeasure at that dude a few times at this point.
We have. Yeah.
Oh, I know. Fucker.
Mr. Coattails.
Yeah. It's like George Knapp. Yes, he's there. Let him be there. But also one further thing that I was thinking about when I was listening to it was that this past summer, right after they had that, having Mexico come up with those fucking ridiculous paper mache bodies, I feel was like part of their misinformation shit. It's like, oh, look, we have this too.
Sure.
But like what I said, I have my other hat on. I have my conspiracy theory hat on. Mexico's just wild. So you don't know what they're going to do.
I mean, they're still running out of articles like, oh, they were real. And like, because they did the x-rays. It's like, no, they're constructed from different bones of different, chickens and stuff to make it constructed. And they've already used like different like bones in different spots that aren't just like we weren't going to be able to figure it out.
Yeah. And then after I watched that, I went down a little more rabbit hole because I was looking at the Mexican stuff, like the prevailing belief down there that, like, the Aztecs were just in contact constantly with aliens.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's like, and then, it's an old theory that the gods are just, aliens.
Chariots of the gods.
Yeah, which he stole from At the Mountains of Madness, and we'll get to it when we get to that on the other podcast. But it's fine. He literally stole the entire concept from H.P. Lovecraft.
Sure.
It's fine. So
Howard did it first, we know.
He did, man. He did. What is it called? Panspermia. The idea that we came from space. So, yeah, man. I mean, anything else to say on this? I mean, it was a mind bender. Yeah,
it was great. I enjoyed the episode. Like I said, it takes 2 hours, and then all of a sudden they have like an open conversation. It got a little fun, like I guess,
Yeah.
And it was like, it's literally like at first it's just like 2 hours of this dude just straight telling you what he knows and what he can say, and it was cool.
Mm-hmm.
I really enjoyed it.
Yeah. I was a big fan as well. I like that he just was, Rogan just shut the fuck up and let this dude talk.
Yeah.
And he had his couple like very pointed questions like, hey, there you go. Like, that's how you do it. And just let him speak. I would kill to have this dude on an episode. I'd let Rogan be there to moderate. That's fine because he's got the facilities, he's got the air, he's got the space. You know what I mean? He's got, he's got the ability. Have him and Bob Lazar together on an episode. Could you imagine that?
That'd be awesome.
Like, let them just talk to each other and like exchange information.
But Corbell would have to be like, I have to be there. I have to be there to do this.
No, just show him get murdered live on, like I got a live stream.
Nice.
It's like, why do you need to be there? For what? What are your credentials? Oh, you're a failed musician and a failed visual artist. So now you're into UFOs?
Yeah. He's like, I followed the path of Tom DeLonge.
Don't get started on fucking Tom DeLonge. You know what? For charity, they should have like a bare knuckle boxing match, the two of them, and whoever wins, just Yeah,
I think Corbell has him, but what do I know?
Probably.
All right, so that was that on that episode. We both watched it last night, and it was interesting. So we're gonna move on here to put on your tinfoil hats, kids.
Yep.
Put up your your board with all your pins, your push pins connecting different dots on a wall, and let's go down this rabbit hole.
Yeah,
that we call the Bohemian Grove.
Well, Ken,
Bohemian Club.
Since 1873, the global elite has held secret meetings in the ancient redwood forest of the Northern California. And known members of the so-called Bohemian Club include former presidents Nixon, Eisenhower, Reagan, and Bush. And the Bush family still maintains a strong involvement. Each year at Bohemian Grove, world leaders don red, black, and silver cloaks and conduct an occult ritual wherein they worship a giant stone owl.
Yes.
Some say as the god Moloch.
Yes.
During the ceremony, a human being is sacrificed in effigy to the owl god idol. And back in 1999, for the first time in history, an outsider infiltrated Bohemian Grove with a video camera and caught the ritual on tape. That man is Alex Jones. And no, that's just a little spoof from Alex Jones' dark secrets inside Bohemian Grove, and that's really what I think kind of popped the lid off this whole thing. Right? He knew about it. He was talking about it for years, but like the general public had no fucking idea what any of this was. Like, how many hidden groups like this probably exist in the country? Not of this caliber, but how many secret men's clubs are there? There's probably there's probably hundreds of them. I'm a native
Columbus.
Cool. Yeah. Everybody knows about you guys, though. It's just for the cheap beer.
I can't confirm, nor deny.
But a little more secretive and a little more affluent. Yeah, man. This place is this is like dreamland for the conspiracy theorists as far as secret societies go, right? And this it's got quite the veneer over it. I mean, this is, we're going to pull a little bit from our pal Wikipedia here, but this is this huge 2,700 acre campground in Monte Rio, California campground. And it's belonged to a private San Francisco based gentlemen's club known as the Bohemian Club.
Yes.
So in mid-July each year is when they have their big gathering, right? They host, it's a 2-week encampment, they call it. And some of the most prominent of men in the world still, they still attend to this day. And not all the members have been, divulged, which is kind of interesting.
Very much.
And it's not just like it's not just the lawmakers. It's not just it includes artists and musicians as well, which is kind of interesting. I mean, business leaders, government officials, former U.S. presidents, senior media executives, and just all around people of power. But that probably ties into that whole, what were you telling me the one time about Lil Nas X and his like whole thing and the?
Oh, it's all of them, man. It's all of them.
Yeah.
They're like, here's where we're going. Here's your rituals that you do during your concerts.
Yeah.
And it was the Astro World, and it was Travis Scott was the big one.
I'm sorry. You know what? I don't know who any of these fucks really are.
Lil Nas X has been doing some stuff too, buddy.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah. There's more out now. Oh, we'll get to it.
We'll get to it. Yeah. So guests can be invited to the Grove for either the Spring Jinx in June or the main July encampment. Bohemian Club members can schedule private day use events at the Grove. So if you need like drink, goat's blood or like sacrifice some virgins, it's just open to their use. They can just use it whenever they want.
You got to hit the side, the swim up bar for some adrenochrome.
Yeah. I mean, it's whatever it is. Then Benicio turns into the devil with 30 tits on him. It's crazy.
How mad is Ellen DeGeneres that she hasn't been invited?
Well, it's men only.
Yeah, she's probably pissed.
Yeah, probably. She's like, look how much money I have. Like, it doesn't matter. It's rules. Yeah. Also, we can't stand the dancing thing. Just stop. Yeah. So the only time that, outsiders such as where spouses or family and friends can come in, including females, which are not allowed, which is amazing. They're able to still keep this going. That they're allowed to bring these outside events.
Well, that's the thing. This is like the real power. This isn't soft power, No. Just like...
Yep. But even if you bring a guest, they have to be off the property. Females and guests must be off the property by 9 or 10 p.m.
Yeah.
So it's like, all right. So after 40 years of membership, the men earn the, quote, old guard status, giving them reserved seating at the Grove's daily talks, as well as other perks. Former U.S. President Herbert Hoover was inducted into the Old Guard back in 1953. That was his date of his 40-year anniversary. Redwood branches from the Grove were flown to the Waldorf Astoria Hotel in New York City, where they used to decorate a banquet room for the celebration. In his acceptance speech, Hoover compared the honor of the Old Guard status to his frequent role as veteran counselor to later presidents. So this is it, man. I mean, it's, they probably were a little bit more, they could be a little bit more out in the open, just nudge, nudge, wink, wink. But now it's completely locked down. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Cause back then there wasn't, people weren't recording every conversation or every speech.
Right.
You can get away with saying things in
yeah.
At a banquet or something. Now you can't because it's all recorded. There's cameras everywhere.
Yeah. They can't talk about burning children in a bonfire anymore out in the open. They just can't do it. So the club motto, which is interesting, is "Weaving spiders come not here," right? And on the surface, this implies that outside concerns and business deals, networking and all that, are to be left outside. However, there's been a lot of, maybe we'll save it till later, but there's been a lot of interpretation on what that actually means. Some say it has to do something with lying, that you can't come in there and you can't come in there for false intentions, or, no frauds can come in, no outsiders, but they maintain that it's, no, it just means that when you come here, just leave all your cares aside.
Yeah. Have a donut if you want. I know. Yeah. I think that means mostly leave your personal agendas at the door. Don't come and weave your own connecting thing for your own. And this is for everyone. Mm-hmm. This is where we decide for all.
Right.
We, the globalists.
Right. This is where they came up with the human-animal hybrids.
Oh, yeah. Humansies all over the place.
Yeah, probably.
They bring you drinks.
Them and the shapeshifters. Yeah. So when gathered in groups, the Bohemians usually adhere to the injunction, although discussion of business often occurs between pairs of members. So there's, there's little loopholes. Important political and business deals have been developed at the Grove. It's famous for the Manhattan Project planning meeting. Took place there in September of 1942, which led to the atomic bomb. No big deal.
Yeah.
But Oppenheimer was there, so it's this is no, it happened. But then you have oil magnates. The head of General Electric was there at the same time. Various military officials. It's just what it is, man.
Yeah, big boy party.
Yeah. So it's interesting because Richard Nixon is the one that gets to be most linked to this place. You get the example of, his comments from May 13th of 1971. There's a tape recording of him talking about upper class San Franciscans. And he says that the Bohemian Grove, which I attend from time to time, it is the most, we'll say, fruity goddamn thing you could ever imagine with that San Francisco crowd. Nixon, he to this day, it's, and it's kind of funny because this guy, even to this day, and like that's funny that they even put this in this article because it's like people hate that dude from like still to this day at like a visceral level because like people describe him as like it's not so much that he was a terrible guy one-on-one, but it was just like they were like he's just a nerd. People called him he was just a nerd who just didn't get it. Yeah. And it's funny to this day that like here we are on an article about the Bohemian Grove and they pulled out this ridiculous comment from him about it.
Yeah, like let's not stop hating Nixon, because
it's funny because like it's like they have this whole like there's this whole veneer over it, right? It's like they put on plays, they put on all this stuff. It's like but after you like get into it and put the costumes on, all right, he went through, he played Peter Pan in the play. Now we can talk the real shit afterwards. It's like it's like the punk test, right? Yeah. So
it's that it's literally like, and it's what I incorporate a lot of this stuff, and I've said it before on here, like this ritual stuff. I think a lot of it too is like, let's see how far along. If you're gonna go along, you got to be in. You know what I mean? You can't be wading in the waters. You got to be, doing the backstroke with us here.
Yeah. It's all in, man. It's drinking the punch. You got to be in, right? So, little talk on the history. I mean, there's exhaustive history on this, so we're just gonna gloss over a little bit. Just give you the high points,
so we can get to our opinion section.
Yeah. So we can just talk about like, where they fucking keep the adrenochrome and where
yeah.
How many aliens are on site every day? Is it like 5, 10? How many?
Yeah.
Yeah, are they in direct contact with Satan, or they have to like is there a hellmouth on the property?
Rumor has it that a lot of the maintenance is done by Bigfoot and Sasquatch, the whole gang.
Interesting. I like that they make the distinction. So the tradition of this summer encampment was established 6 years after the Bohemian Club was formed in 1872. Henry Edwards, a stage actor and founding member, announced that he was relocating to New York City to further his career. So on June 29th of 1878, somewhat fewer than 100 Bohemians gathered in the Redwoods in Marin County near Taylorville. All right. For an evening send-off party in Edwards' honor. Freely flowing liquor and some Japanese lanterns put a glow on the festivities, and club members retired at a late hour to the modest comfort of blankets laid on the dense mat of redwood needles. This festive gathering was repeated the next year without Edwards and became the club's yearly encampment. By 1882, the members of the club camped together at various locations in both Marin and Sonoma County, including the present-day Moyer Woods and Redwood Grove that once stood near Duncan Mills, several miles down the Russian River from the current location. I think that's how Alex Jones got in. From 1893, Bohemians rented the current location, and in 1899 purchased it from Melvin Cyrus Meeker, who had developed a successful logging operation in the area. Gradually, over the next decades, members of the club purchased land surrounding the original location to the perimeter of the basin in which it resides. This wacky quote here. Writer and journalist William Harry Irwin said of the Grove, "You come upon it suddenly. One step and its glory is over for you. There is no perspective. You cannot get far enough away from one of the trees to see it as a whole. There they stand, a world of height above you, their pinnacles hidden by their topmost fringes of branches or lost in the sky." So that dude was on peyote or whatever. Yeah. It's like, okay. He's like, look, I can't say anything about being in there, so I'll say this.
Yeah, I'll talk about the trees. Let's go.
Like, guys pee on stuff a lot there. That's what I can say.
People, ground,
Yeah, they light corpses on fire for torches. Yep. That's what I heard. So not long after the club's establishment by newspaper journalists, it was commandeered by prominent San Francisco-based businessmen who provided the financial resources necessary to acquire further land and facilities at the Grove. However, they still retained the, quote, Bohemians, the artists and musicians who continued to entertain international members and guests. So that's the beginning there, man. So I think it's pretty safe to say that we can gather that the Bohemian Club is a private club, and only active members and their guests may visit. Like we said, politicians, notable figures from other countries.
Mark Twain. Yeah, he got wild there. You know that.
Yeah, I think Tesla got in there too. Yeah.
And he didn't like it. That's why he got the raw deal.
Oh yeah. That's what, like, okay, banish him back to his apartment in New York City and just
and we'll take everything.
Yep. They're like, hey, look at this downed craft that we found. Could you what do you make of this? And he was like, he's like, oh well, this, and they were like, all right, we got what we needed, and they they're
like, call Edison.
Yeah. He's like, you son of a bitch.
You son of bitch.
Yep. So there's a little breakdown of what can be expected in here. It's it's huge, but it very much is like just one of these old style camps, right?
Yeah.
And you have these camp valets, these guys who are responsible for the operation of the individual camps. And the head valets are akin to general managers at like a resort, club, restaurant, hotel. Service staff include female workers whose presence at the Grove is limited to daylight hours and central area close to the main gate. They're not allowed to see what goes on in the inner, because it's gross.
Yeah.
It's gross.
Yeah.
It's like probably ultimate like dude stuff. Like there's
it's lemon party in there, man.
Male workers may be housed at the Grove within the boundaries of the camp to which they are assigned or in peripheral service areas. High status workers stay in small private quarters, but most are housed in rustic bunkhouses. Everything has this, they say it maintains this look of like a camp. Like you have these rustic looking cabins, but inside some of these cabins, apparently it's like night and day. Like some of them look like high tech facilities and shit. Yeah. Like I would love to, I would love to know what's in there.
And they all have themes. They all have their different names.
Yes.
Each yeah.
Yep. I've got those right here. The main encampment area consists of about 160 acres. That's in the center area of old growth redwood trees. They're all over 1,000 years old. Beautiful. Some over 300 feet tall. Amazing. So, of course, these is, rich, pasty, white motherfuckers got their hands all over it. Some of these guys are probably like over 200 years old. They're like, they're shooting some of these stem cells, adrenochrome, swapping blood with, like toddlers or whatever the fuck they do.
Yeah, they're drinking out of like, St. Peter's skull,
Yeah, probably. So the sleep, I'm going to say probably. And by probably, I mean definitely.
Yeah.
Sleeping quarters or camps are also scattered throughout the Grove. There were 118 as of 2007. It's 3,000 acres. These camps, which are they're passed down from father to son. Yeah, which that speaks of
generational wealth and generational like secrets and I don't know the exact words to put on the feeling that gives me. Do you know what I mean? Like,
it's called the creeps, Ken.
Yeah, right. But it's also just like that. Like, I don't mean just like, there's this family living, in, upper crust, whatever, that's been there, or they're like the founders of some town. I mean, like the deep seated stuff that goes back to like royalty and like relation of ancient Egypt. Like, it's just like
Nick Cage finding the Declaration of I'll tell you what it is. It's the feeling of these are the people with their hands on the reins of power, and none of our best interests are their concern. Yeah. Like they're about the accumulation of power and wealth, more power than anything, because they didn't tell you. Like the one guy was saying on the one thing I was watching, he's like, there's a point that you get that you have so much money that it's just like, well, now I just want power. It's like money doesn't mean anything anymore. It's like, Jesus Christ. And that's what these guys are doing as they piss on everything.
Poor men want to be rich. Rich men want to be king. And kings, well, they just want everything. Right. Bruce Springsteen.
Yes. So in these camps that are passed down from father to son, this is how all these high-level business and political contacts and friendships are formed. They say like all the major ones in this country for the past, let's say 100 years, were all formed at this camp. Like all your guys who were just, any of them, even the tech guys, even like the, the modern age, your Zucks, your, any of those dudes. I can never remember the old Twitter owner's guy.
Tom that dude from MySpace.
Tom from MySpace is actually Moloch. He knew it was up. That's why he was looking back with that grin, like,
he was actually painting hell. He was painting hell, like
with children's blood.
Yeah.
So some of the preeminent, this isn't all of them, but some of the preeminent camps that exist there are the Hillbillies, Mandalay, Caveman, Stowaway, Uplifters, Owl's Nest, Hideaway, Isle of Aves, Lost Angels, Silverado Squatters. I don't want to go to that one. Sempervirens. That means always alive. Hillside and Idlewild.
No, because that these are all about like their lineage. They you know what I mean? It's just like about the
Semper means always, and Vir, that means always alive. I think I took that.
And like the one that was like the Hillbillies, and like in the Cavemen,
Yeah. So the hillbillies are the ones that, like, after the Civil War was over, they made deals with. They're like, look, we need some of your wealth. Let's get in business together.
Yeah.
They brought them into the camp, and they just, by comparison, called them the hillbillies. The Owl's Nest, that's where the dudes that are like literally vampires live.
Yeah, and they're always alive. They're different. Yeah. The Owl's Nest, they're like they're the keepers of the knowledge. They know.
They're the go-getters right now. They protect it, but the always alive, the Sempervirens, that's some Lovecraft. That's the old ones, man. Yeah, always living.
Yep. Always living.
Yep.
Oh God, and like I picture them like Victor from Underworld.
Yeah, it is that. And they skip forward in time. Only one lord is alive at a time, and the other one is dormant, so they can live the maximum amount of vampire life.
We don't know anything, man. Like, and like the Owl's Nest, that family, they've seen what's in like the Vatican secret library. Like they know.
Yeah. How about the Lost Angels? They're from the Vatican.
Yeah. Those are literally
the Italians.
But they're the descendants of of the Watchers.
Dude, what is Hideaway?
I don't know.
Silverado squatters. That makes me think of like something from like the 49ers from like out in Old West when they were like silver mining and gold mining.
Yeah.
And, they just took what they like all these things just Idlewild.
It's got nothing to do with a Chevy truck, I'll tell you that.
No.
No. It's not like people that sit on the back of their Silverado, they're squatting on Silverado.
Stowaway. What is Stowaway? Dude, these are nuts. And this just gets the mind going because it's like to tell me that this is just a gentleman's club that they're just hanging out and they fuck around for a 2-week little romp every July or whatever the fuck it is. And then we also have gathering places within the Grove. We've got the Grove stage, which is the amphitheater with seating for 2,000, used primarily for the Grove play production on the last weekend of the Midsummer Encampment, and it extends up a hillside. Then we have the Field Circle, which is this bowl-shaped amphitheater used for the mid-encampment, quote, Low Jinks musical comedy, or the Spring Jinks in early June, and for a variety of other performances.
Well, it's a bowl-shaped amphitheater, so what happens is they do it in the round. Someone's in the middle, and they
fill it with blood.
Yeah, and then the real Moloch comes and drinks from it.
Yeah,
and bestows upon them their powers that they have.
Yeah, he comes out of that owl statue. That's just the effigy. He lands on that, and that's his perch.
Yeah,
fuck.
And it's more terrifying than anything you can possibly imagine.
Yeah, it's sanity shattering.
Yeah,
if you look at it, that's it.
Yep.
Where are the mythos authors to write these stories? It's rife for it.
I don't even think you need it because it's probably real.
Yeah. Oh. And then we also have the campfire circle. It's the campfire pit in the center of a circle surrounded by carved redwood log benches. And this is also used for small performances in a more intimate setting. All right, you know what goes on there.
TED Talks. No. They eat barbecued flesh.
The worst of the worst. They eat barbecued flesh while they probably put their hands on underage people. You know what I'm saying? That's what goes on there.
Yeah.
And they drink from skulls.
Yeah. And not the cool way.
No.
It's not like I vanquished
Nixon
my enemy.
had it right. Not in the cool.
Yeah, not in the cool way. It's not like you keep what you kill kind of way. It's more of a this was my father's. It was given to me.
Yep. This is the skull of a man that he killed during the conquest of America. It's like, what the fuck? So then we also have the
skull of a man who was rowing on the Mayflower.
Probably.
Yeah.
Probably. Right. Then we have the museum stage, another semi-outdoor venue with covered stage, lectures, and small ensemble performances.
They show all the recovered UAP stuff.
Yeah, and then they sing songs about it.
Yeah.
Because it's whatever, because they're just like, I do what I want.
Yeah.
They're like, I fuck around, dude. It's what I do. Yeah. George Washington is at these things, too. He's still alive.
Yeah.
He's just a head in a jar with spider legs.
Yep.
The dining circle, seating approximately 1,500 diners simultaneously. Yeah, what are they eating? The clubhouse, which was designed by Bernard Maybeck in 1903, completed in 1904 on a bluff overlooking the Russian River. This is a multi-purpose dining, drinking, and entertainment building, the site of the Manhattan Project planning meeting held in 1942.
Yeah, that's where they have sex with aliens as the sun rises.
Alien sex. Sunrise alien sex.
Yeah.
Right, with some kind of lube from Mars.
And Oppenheimer got it hit him, and he was like, "Oh!" And he came up. We split the atom. That's
yeah.
While doing it, he's like,
yeah.
And the alien's like,
Yeah.
"Oh, please, Dad, no,
Yeah.
no, please,
Yeah.
oh."
Yeah, the alien was like, you split my cheeks, now I'm going to split the atom. I don't know.
They bang him until the alien just goes, "You have to split it at him, okay? Like, that's
Yeah.
all you have to do."
They're like, why didn't you just tell us in the beginning, Zip Zap?
Yeah. I kind of liked it. I mean, wait.
He's like, Glebe Glorb, help. He's talking to his little watch thing.
Glebe Glorb is blasting regulators and, you know,
Yep.
in the
Comes in.
spaceship.
Yep.
Just
We know
off
that.
his ass.
Yeah. I mean, that's what he does.
Yeah.
So then we have the famous The Owl Shrine in the Lake. And this is an artificial lake in the interior of the grove, like the most interior. And this is used for the noontime concerts and also the venue of the Cremation of Care, which takes place on the first Saturday of the encampment. It is also location of the 12:30 p.m. daily lakeside talks. Vlad the Impaler shows up at that too. He's still alive.
Before we go any further,
Yeah.
if we find a clip of the Cremation of Care, what goes on during that, let's drop that here.
If we're able to declassify that.
Yeah. Well, I'll send it up my my cultivated chain of intelligence. You know.
All right. Yeah. Put that right here.
The owl is in his leafy temple. Let all within the grove be reverent before him. Lift up your heads, O ye trees, and be ye lifted up, ye everlasting spires. For behold, here is Bohemian shrine, and holy are the pillars of this house. Weaving spiders, come not near. Hail, Bohemians, with the ripple of waters, song of birds, such music as inspires the sinking soul, do we invite you into midsummer's joy. Sky above is blue, sown with stars. The forest floor is heaped with fragrant drift. Evening's cool kiss is yours. The campfires glow. The birth of rosy-fingered dawn. Shake off your sorrows with the city's dust and cast to the winds the cares of life. Let memory bring back the well-loved names of gallant friends who knew and loved this grove. Little children that believed nor ever doubt her beauty and her faith, nor deem her tenderness can change or die. Bohemians and priests, the desperate call of heavy hearts is answered. By the power of your fellowship, dull care is slain. His body has been brought yonder from the funeral pyre to the joyous pipings of a funeral march. Our funeral pyre awaits the corpse of care.
When will he learn that me he cannot slay? Year after year he burned me in this grove.
So shall we burn thee once again this night, and in the flames that eat thine effigy, we shall read the sign, Midsummer sets us free.
Ye shall burn me once again! Now but leave flame, which hither ye have brought from regions where I reign. Ye fools and priests, I spit upon your fire.
Once again, midsummer sets us free.
Yeah, well, that sounds on the level. Yeah. Yep.
Boy, oh boy.
Yep. So these significant informal talks, these lakeside talks, which are all on public policy issues, apparently, have been given over the years by entertainers, professors, astronauts, business leaders, extraterrestrials, cabin officers, Central Intelligence Agent directors, cryptids, future presidents, and former presidents, and ghosts. So, yeah, I mean, it's right here in black and white. So,
Yeah.
The ghost of Abraham Lincoln just threw a banger like 2 years ago.
Yeah, but he keeps away. He doesn't like what's going on there.
Yeah, he starts talking and he looks to the side. He's like, what is he doing?
He's like, what are they all on? And someone's like, Coke, sir. They're all grinding their teeth
He's like,
and their eyes are in.
He's like, what are they doing down there? They're like, just finish the speech, Mr. President. He's like, no, what are they doing down there? They're like, fuck, we gotta get him out of here.
Yeah. Yep. Because every time they summon him and like his it all restarts,
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
He comes out and he's like, oh, I'm back. And then
see, the thing is,
are they eating and then
yeah. Well, they hired necromancers to reinvigorate him from his essential salts. You'll see. I guess we should talk about the security over at the Bohemian Grove. Huh?
Let's please.
Yeah. So the Bohemian Grove is protected by a sophisticated security team year round. Oh, before I get to that, there's also rumors that there's an underground base under this fucking place. Have you heard that?
Look, I've heard a lot of things, of things. But there's another writer that got into this place too.
Yeah, because they said, what they said is like they have this underground base there, or whatever you want to call it, underground facility, and they do all their rituals outside, even though they have this underground stuff, because they're like flaunting it. They're like, yeah, we could go underground with this, but fuck you, we own this planet. It's like, wow.
Yeah.
So the Bohemian Club employs ex-military personnel to help secure the area. They use high-end security equipment, including thermal night vision cameras, motion detectors, and vibration sensing alarm systems. That's a good one.
Yeah.
The level of security is particularly heightened during the time periods that members are on site. That's got to be wild. Like when they're having their thing.
The vibration, that's like the movie The Rock. That's literally what's going on.
Yeah.
And they're, they're just like, Nick Cage is sliding a manhole cover over. Yeah.
Well, listen to this. During these times, during the encampments, the local sheriff's office, the California Highway Patrol, and if warranted by the guest list, the United States Secret Service helped to secure the areas and roads surrounding the encampment.
Of course, dude.
Yeah.
Like you got to think too. Like the ex-military personnel, they're saying mercenaries.
Yeah, Blackwater.
Yeah, they have just the we're getting paid moneyest of the money guys that like we'll do whatever the price tag's right. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
Yep. Vile.
Yeah. Well, in 2019, the Sonoma County Board of Supervisors informed the club that 2019 would be the last year that they provided law enforcement security. So then they dropped COVID in 2020.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like, okay, fine.
Yeah.
Like, okay. Oh, you like your state, California? We're just going to just ruin the entire economy.
Yep, it's done.
Yeah, for the lulz.
Yeah, for the lulz, we're going to do it. Yeah. And like they were like just getting tired of the screams, sir. All the cops are going to the like superiors out there, and they're like,
yeah.
Yeah, they're like 4 of our guys just, our sheriff's department just killed themselves. Yeah. So, I don't know.
Yeah, it's weird.
It's time. Yeah.
Yeah. He shot himself in the back of the head. It's crazy.
Yeah, while he hung himself from a tree.
Yeah.
He hung himself from a tree, and he shot himself in the back of the head and in the stomach 7 times.
And then threw himself into a river.
Yeah. It's very ingenuitive, these guys.
Yeah, I don't know how they do it. It's crazy, but these are tough guys. They're that's what they do. So during all these events and later on down the road, and despite the high level of security present, there have been numerous high-profile, successful infiltrations of the Bohemian Grove. All right, so first up, we've got in the summer of 1980, Rick Clower gained entrance to the Grove with the help of an employee and posed as a worker during the 2 weekends of the annual encampment. His efforts, the first magazine reporting from the inside of the Grove, were published in the August 1981 issue of Mother Jones. Around the same time, ABC Evening News aired a special report on Bohemian Grove.
That'll never happen again.
No, because they own ABC.
Yeah, they own it. They own
it all now. Yeah. And it's funny too, because that's where he got some of the pamphlets, which was famous. It was like a program that showed everything that was going on.
Yeah, all the events that year. And
yep. They're like, what the hell is Spring Jinx? And they still exist to this day. There's actually a website I was looking. You can buy like facsimiles of it if you want. Like people have it's been scanned in so many times that you can have it if you want. There's even I think from that year too, that dude was able to break in somewhere or whatever, and he pulled some old posters too from some of their gatherings, which all of them prominently feature the owl imagery, which is interesting.
Yeah, the one that I saw that just is burned into my brain is the one of the cremation of care, where it looks like a 1950s movie poster,
Yes,
and it's got that. Oh God, it's just
nothing evil about it at all, Ken.
No, nothing.
Looks like it's a Disney. It's a Disney movie poster.
Right.
So
think about Gone with the Wind, but with propaganda of the highest order that would seduce a demon man.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, and with that Russian style of that communist style of artwork that they like to use, it has that kind of feel too.
Yeah, it doesn't have the whimsy of Disney. It's a more artist friendly or palatable friendly version of the loose lip sync ships, but Gone with the Wind. It's fucking wild, man.
Yes. The next one, in the summer of 1989, Spy magazine writer Philip Weiss spent 7 days in the camp posing as a guest, which led to his November 1989 article, Inside the Bohemian Grove. He was eventually discovered and arrested for trespassing. Then, so this guy for Spy magazine, he probably used some of his spy magazine or spy tactics that he learned from his magazine.
Yeah, from being a writer there for 2 years.
Yes. I want to know what this dude saw, because he probably saw the pure antics, just whatever the fuck they're doing to each other out there. And 1989, that was the height of some shit back then. How much coke do you think was there in 1989? Just you just dive into piles of it like it was snow.
Yeah.
They
probably that facility underneath is probably where all the good leftover lewds are.
Wow, interesting.
Think about that.
Apparently they don't exist anymore, but
they do there.
They do there. Well, they said that when they were made, they were stopped being made. Now, any that are left, they don't even have any efficacy. But I believe it.
They still make them there.
Okay. You know what? The fucking owl thing is actually just a big Pez dispenser that shoots lewds out.
It's like a hot dog gun, game,
No, the head flies back and just fucking lewds fly out of his fucking neck, like big, bundles of them. So that's what it is. Fact.
Gang.
Yep. On July 15, 2000, Alex Jones and his cameraman Mike Hansen clandestinely entered Bohemian Grove and shot footage of the cremation of care ceremony. Jones claimed it was a ritual sacrifice. From this footage, documentary filmmaker John Ronson produced the episode The Satanic Shadowy Elite, in which he characterizes it's with a question mark.
Avril de las Morta?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, shit. What was that? Yeah. Avril Ellis Muerta.
Yeah.
Or Muerto, whatever it was.
Yeah.
In which he characterizes the proceedings as an overgrown frat party, while Jones produced dark secrets inside Bohemian Grove, describing what he said were satanic rituals. So we should probably go over, before we go a little bit further, some more here, but we should probably talk about the cremation of care a little bit, right?
Yeah.
And this is their main, this is their ritual production that opens the ceremonies, right? For the weekend. It's staged in front of the 40-foot tall image of an owl. They're not saying who it is.
Yeah. Well,
at the small artificial lake in the old grove grove of redwood trees there. The dramatic performance is presented on the first night of the annual encampment as an allegorical banishing of worldly cares for the club members and to, quote, to present symbolically the salvation of the trees by the club.
Jesus God.
But the secretive nature of the Bohemians and the political power of some of its members have been criticized. This is wild, and I remember the first time I heard about this.
Yeah. I didn't even know who Alex Jones was at the time.
No, me either.
Like, I knew who David Icke was. You know, I knew him at the time.
That guy thought that that the reptilians were in charge of everything.
Yeah.
Everything was the reptilians with that guy.
Yeah.
So the ceremony involves the poling across a lake of a small boat containing an effigy of Care. It's called Dull Care. Now, I've heard a few things about this, and a lot of these articles don't go into it. But someone said it's a wooden skeleton that's in there. And
I think so.
Yeah, and some people say it's a child-sized skeleton, which is interesting.
Yep.
So that's in this coffin, and then these dark hooded figures receive from the ferryman the effigy, which is placed on an altar, and at the end of the ceremony, set on fire. And it's not just set on fire; they have like these whole pyrotechnics set up where it looks like it's hit by a comet almost, which is I don't know what the fuck that is.
I know what that is.
Go for it. What is it?
Dude, it's the universe cleansing them and giving them all the, just like fallen knowledge and power and just getting the stardust of I don't even know. It's just like
fucking stardust.
It's just like the getting all the heavenly knowledge and blessing from like just a meteorite of you're the chosen ones.
Well, they say this cremation symbolizes that members are banishing the, quote, dull cares of conscience.
No, the dull cares.
Oh. Yeah. So care or worry. So it's, I don't know. The ceremony takes place in front of the quote, owl shrine, a 40-foot hollow owl statue made of concrete over steel supports. The moss and lichen-covered statue simulates a natural rock formation, yet holds electrical and audio equipment within. That's how it shoots the laser beams out and also turns into the Pez dispenser. Because it can turn into a security system if you need it to. The head moves, shoots lasers.
Yeah, it's fire. Squid Games.
Yeah. During the ceremony, a recording is used as the voice of the owl, and for many years, the recorded voice was club guest Walter Cronkite.
Dude, fuck you, dude. Like,
music and pyrotechnics accompany the ritual for dramatic effect, sir.
Yeah, it's only for the drama.
Yep. Going back to Mr. Jones and his cameraman Mike Hansen, they infiltrated the Bohemian Grove and filmed the cremation of Care with a hidden camera. The footage was the centerpiece of Jones's documentary Dark Secrets Inside Bohemian Grove, and he claimed that this was an ancient Canaanite, Luciferian, Babylon mystery religion ceremony.
Yeah.
Those
things. Yes.
Okay. I wish he was a little more, I don't know.
No,
eloquent.
That's the problem. The problem is, it's, and actually, who's the guy that's always on Rogan? Well, he used to be on way more. It's the dude with the beard that looks like that guy that was in all the 80s and 90s movies. That was like the guy in The Mummy that was like, we got on the horses.
Yeah,
you know what I'm talking about?
I can't think of his name. Yeah.
Well, he was even just saying like, it'd be nice if he could just like filter out the fake stuff and just go with the real stuff, But like,
everything's a flight of fancy. That's the problem. So the Grove and Jones's investigation were covered by John Ronson in Channel 4's 4-part documentary "Secret Rulers of the World," and Ronson documented his view of the ritual in his book "Them: Adventures with Extremists." Adventures with Extremists. Writing, "My lasting impression was of an all-pervading sense of immaturity. The Elvis impersonators, the pseudo-pagan spooky rituals, the heavy drinking." Yeah, I mean, that sounds like somebody that just doesn't want to get, targeted by these guys.
Also, though, too, the way he just said it, like, it makes it sound like something I want to do.
Yeah, but you can't. And it's like, that's the problem. They're like, oh, no, we're just having a grand old time down here. And it's like, meanwhile, they're like, Mothman's been down there for like decades. And they just, they're like, they just keep it in a cage and stick it with fucking like pokers.
Yeah.
Just let free Mothman.
Yeah. We need those shirts. Free Mothman.
Free Mothman from Bohemian Grove.
Yeah. He's there.
Fucking,
let him out.
Yeah, fucking Mothman.
Sons of bitches. Mother.
Fucking Moloch. I mean, something's got to be done.
Yeah. Good luck, man.
So then on January 19th of 2002, 37-year-old Richard McCaslin was arrested after his nighttime infiltration of the Bohemian Grove, where he set several fires. He was heavily armed and wearing a skull mask and outfit with, quote, Phantom Patriot written across the chest.
Oh!
Yeah.
Oh, this guy's he's the Punisher with a cool mask.
Yeah.
Oh, and he didn't get anyone? He just got the fires?
You should read his article. This dude. His Phantom Patriot costume.
It's not as cool as I think.
It's, you know what it looks like? Remember in the second, you can just look him up, Richard McCaslin. Remember in the second Kick-Ass, Jim Carrey's character?
Yeah.
Kind of like that.
But does he have a skull mask?
He does, but he has like a Stars and Stripes bandana, and it's not Punisher-esque. It's more like...
I'm looking it up. Phantom
Patriot.
Yeah. That name kicks ass, dude. Sorry.
Yeah, no, I mean... Yeah. Also known as the Lynx and Thought Crime. This guy's a superhero maniac.
Okay, yeah. Actually, there's one that's pretty friggin' cool. He has the sword.
This is what, you know what? Now I'm looking. He used to patrol his city of Zanesville with a teenage sidekick named Ironclaw. This is in Ohio. Yeah, this guy, they probably pulled inspiration for Kick-Ass, that character from Kick-Ass, from this guy.
Totally. Because, like, there's, like, I see ones where he has the same eye mask that Jim Carrey wears.
Yes.
And a couple of these. So, yeah, they definitely did. But the one where he does have the skull mask and the Star Spangled bandana, like, over his head, I'm like, fuck yeah, dude. Oh, there's one he's got a goddamn crossbow.
Yeah,
dude. All right.
Yeah. How about this, though? Look at this. His death, which is not even, like, mentioned on here. A report filed by the Washington, D.C. Metropolitan Police Department on October 15, 2018, indicates McCaslin attempted suicide, like they all did.
Yeah, right.
Police found McCaslin suffering from a head injury in his truck, parked in an alley next to the House of the Temple, a Masonic temple. The Freemasons were a frequent subject of McCaslin's conspiracy theories. He was pronounced dead the following day. I want this guy's story.
Yeah.
This dude, do you think he showed up with
was.
Look, he's got in another picture, he's got a katana. Do you think he showed up with all that shit on? It says heavily armed. Yeah. He was heavily armed and wearing a skull mask, an outfit with Phantom Patriot written across the chest.
That's so badass.
And then they suicided him.
Yeah, absolutely. Because this guy was a force. But look at this guy.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
Do you think he did direct battle with Moloch?
He sure tried.
Like Kratos style, it came out in its full form. This dude had his
Yeah, but then he started lighting fires, and I think Moloch took off.
No. Moloch was spitting fire, and he was like dodging the
fires. Oh, right.
This is all spin.
But the thing is, too, he bested Moloch because he made it out.
He did, or they were just like, let him go.
Yeah, he earned his life.
Right.
Phantom Patriot. That's so cool.
Yeah. So. There's a couple little more bugaboos about this, but I mean, honestly, them putting on these plays and stuff. That's the long and short of this place. I mean, sure. we know it's there. It's an open secret kind of thing. I mean, there's a whole controversy about logging that I'm not going to go into because it's really not that interesting. It's just about these fucks trying to exploit all these redwoods that they tried to. So there's illegal logging going on, which was really fucked up. But is really not that juicy. It's not as cool as the Phantom Patriot.
With Moloch, nothing is that cool. What is that?
That is a fucking comic book right there. He went in there, dude. He blew it wide open. He probably got into the underground facilities. Yeah. He probably battled some kind of dragon. He flew out on Mothman.
Yeah, he did.
That's how he got out.
And you know what?
Moloch was flying behind him, shooting fire at him, but he got out.
Yeah, and
no one believed him.
He found out that there were still some of the people left at that Masonic temple, so he wanted to end it.
Yeah.
But they just, he made a deal with Moloch. Moloch was like, we won't come for you.
Right.
As long as you don't come for us. But he did. And just
Right.
some guy like Frank Nitti and the Untouchables got to him,
Right.
Just some like weaselly Mason underling. This got him, It's like,
yeah, I know. Yep.
Our hero.
And and like he got out, he was able to escape amazingly. He's flying out on Mothman. Zip Zap and Gleepglor come in. They're like, "Take my hand, you fuck!" And then he grabbed it, and they were able to get out. And they're like, "Oh my god!" Yeah. So
way to get our boys in there. I like that.
Yeah, I mean they were there. They were like he's in trouble. Those freaks are trying to give him a quote massage.
Yeah, Zip Zap's like, don't let them do what they did to me.
Yeah. Once the oil comes out, it's over.
My nipples still hurt.
And then Zip Zap or Gleepglor's like, you have nipples?
Yeah. They gave them to me.
Yeah, man. So this is, this is fucking crazy, man.
Yeah, look, there's nothing you can tell me though that goes on there that I'm not going to believe. Like I'm already there. Like you could tell me that literally like they designed the airport and like it's like the Denver airport was designed there and like there's a direct tunnel linking there.
Yep.
Like you could tell me whatever you want about this place. I'm like, yeah, that's where it happens, right there.
Another thing that I kind of went down a little bit. There wasn't a lot of information on him, but there's a lot of things hinted about the guy. He's Armenian, so I'm going to try to say his name as best I can. Haig Patigian. This is the artist that sculpted the Moloch effigy. And this dude was an active member, designed the Owl Shrine. He was like the centerpiece of this cremation of care ceremony for years. This is early 1900s. But he's kind of this like weird like artist that did a lot of these like monuments. Like he did a McKinley statue, he did an Abraham Lincoln statue, General John Pershing, all this weird stuff. And apparently he designed things in the Capitol building in Washington, D.C. Also other contributions to the National Statuary Hall collection. Weird stuff. And like there's these weird things like, I don't know, referenced about a guy. He's very, very enigmatic. And I just thought it was kind of cool. It's like, oh, this weird artist. The picture of him, he looks like fucking Ivo Shandor. Like, it's that kind of thing.
That's what I figured.
It's like, oh, here's my sculpture of a woman. Or is it?
Yeah.
Fuck.
The sculpture itself is actually like it's if you can like unlock this secret, like if you like a puzzle box and like it opens a gate to like hell.
Yeah. Or there's like a picture of him here. Oh, a picture of him from October 1988 when he decided that humanity was too sick to survive. And then it's like 1938. Just before his head died.
Yeah.
Dude, it just there's just more and more stuff that just keeps it's what it is. It's literally what it is. But what we're talking about,
always living, Jack.
Yeah, semper virens. Yeah,
I mean, we could have just did an episode about the names.
Yeah, we could.
Like, it's so God. We are just like specks of nothing to these people.
Yeah,
Yeah. It's like even far beyond the idea of like debt slaves. Like we're just like they don't care. They don't need the money that we are taxes or anything. Like it's these people have like some kind of currency we don't even know about. You know?
I mean, I don't want to go down the whole rabbit hole of taxation is modern slavery, but
we're here. that's
that I don't even that's as succinct as I could be. That's what it is.
It's and like. That's why this is another danger because it's just like, hey guys, all this other stuff is scary, but it's like this is the scary.
This is the overarching danger. This isn't even like this is the danger. Everything exists under the dome of this shit.
Yeah, this is like Court of Owls. Even like this is like
man.
Oh
yeah. Yep. You get into the stuff too long, you start walking around with the T-shirts that say federal income tax is slavery.
Yeah,
I've seen them at gun shows.
You literally instantly become a libertarian.
Yeah, it's true. I mean that's what I got on this. We could definitely speculate forever. I was gonna do like another deep dive within this episode on the Skull and Bones, but like that'll be just as long as Bohemian Grove.
Yeah. And they're there,
Yes, there's a building called the Tomb. The Brotherhood of Death, Ken.
Yeah.
The Order 322.
Yeah, dude.
It's part of the big three.
I am. It's just
the other two are Scroll and Key and Wolf's Head. It's fucked up. Yeah,
like and you can go up to any like normal like a person that never thinks about this stuff.
Yeah, I know.
And you say like 2 sentences of anything we've said here, and they're like never hanging out with that guy again.
Yeah, or they think it's funny and they start talking, and then you talk about it more, and they're like,
"Yeah,
oh,
yeah,
okay."
And the fucked up thing is it's all real. Like all the stuff that you said, that we talked about, it all happened. It's all real. These people go there and do that stuff. We've all done a lot of speculating and making fun of things.
Yeah.
But all the other stuff is real. And like when you tell people about it, they go, no, there's no way. Like these are just, they make the laws, and they organize stuff. It's like, no.
Well, I mean, I'll be succinct about Skull and Bones. This is basically like the launching pad for these fucks that eventually join the Bohemian Grove. Senior year at Yale University, all the big wigs kids who go there are members of this fraternity.
Yeah. They jerk off in a coffin in front of everyone.
They start in with their rituals there, their weird fucking rituals. Yep. It's a death cult. They worship death. That's literally what it's about. Although they say, no, man, it's just whatever. It's like, well, then let us see the inside of your place. No. Although there has been some leaked video, it shows nothing.
Yeah. Yeah, because they use their psychic powers to erase the tape.
Yeah. Here's the crazy thing.
This is the
yeah. No. Here's the crazy thing, and like because when they start getting into like the symbolism that these freaks use, so, and then I'll get into like their theft of things, which is the other interesting thing, and I'll just keep it brief. So they have their symbols, which is the skull and crossbones with the number 322 on the lower jaw, which has been speculated about what that means. It's literally I'll get to it. Its members worship Eulogia. It's a fictional goddess of eloquence.
Oh, is it fictional?
I don't think so. It's probably the wife of Moloch.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or a mistress, at least.
Yeah, he's probably not tied down.
No.
The number 322 appears in Skull and Bones insignia and is widely reported to be significant as the year of Greek orator Demosthenes' death. Okay. A letter between early society members in Yale's archives suggests that 322 is a reference to the year 322 BC, and that members measure dates from this year instead of from the Common Era. So that's their beginning date. So take any date now minus 322. That's the calendar these guys are working on.
Fuck.
Nuts, right? Yep. So in 322 BCE, the Lamian War ended with the death of Demosthenes, and Athenians were made to dissolve their government and establish a plutocratic system in its stead, whereby only those possessing 2,000 drachmas or more could remain citizens. What do you think that sounds like? It's crazy. Documents in the Tomb have their house, whatever the fuck you want. Their frat house is a tomb. Kind of into that.
That's cool. Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah. So documents in the Tomb have purportedly been found dated to Anno Demostheni, meaning that's instead of AD this is their dating system. Members measure the time of day according to to a clock 5 minutes out of sync with normal time. The latter is called barbarian time. One legend is that the numbers represent founded in 32 second core, referring to a first core in an unknown German university. So it started in Germany somewhere, apparently.
Yeah.
They're also famous for stealing shit, like the remains of people. Apparently, they stole the skull of Martin Van Buren, Geronimo, and Pancho Villa. They think it's funny. They steal skulls.
I know the Geronimo one pretty well. So yeah.
That's a whole story, the theft of his skull. But in January of 2010, Christie's auctioned a human skull with links to Skull and Bones. That's the only information that was given on it. It's probably it's like Ben Franklin's fucking head, and it's like, we can't say whose it is.
Yeah.
you open the skull up and there's like a little hint in there.
Yeah, his bifocals are in there like the brick in National Treasure.
Yeah.
Yeah, someone buys that skull and like they turn it over and they look and they find like, oh yeah, $2 million for it, and it just has the S in it.
Yeah, yep.
It's carved next to a dick pic.
Of course,
yeah,
of course. But as we all know, the S that we're talking about is actually an esoteric version of the Ouroboros, or the snake devouring its tail, which is a symbol for infinity,
which we discussed in a previous episode.
Yes. So just a little bit on the tomb. The Skull and Bones Hall is otherwise known as the Tomb. Was built in 3 phases, starting in 1856, then in a second one in 1903, and these neo-Gothic towers were added into the rear garden in 1912. This is so they can skin people, and then you can't see it on the rest of the campus.
Yeah, it's like the fatalities in that game War Gods, where they just...
Yes. Oh yeah, yeah. So it also has this like Gothic kind of style, but it's also like Egyptian Greek style too. Mm-hmm. So it's it's got this small enclosed courtyard in the rear of the building. It's actually pretty nice. There is, if you just go on YouTube, just put in Skull and Bones tomb video, and someone got in there and took a little bit of video. It's it's nice, but it's also creepy as fuck.
Yeah.
So,
which, like, in a way, I'm like, I kind of want to dig it,
Yeah. And then I'm just gonna round it out with Deer Island.
Okay. I don't know.
This is located in. This is located up in New York. This is their personal little. They own and manage Deer Island. It's an island retreat on the St. Lawrence River. It's between New York and Canada. And it's said that the 40-acre retreat is intended to allow bonesmen to, quote, get together and rekindle old friendships. Dude, it's a Bohemian Grove style location. Yeah, this is where they indoctrinate them.
And they do.
A century ago, the island sported tennis courts, and yes, they do that. Yes, there's docking going on there for sure.
Yeah.
Of boats. A century ago, the island sported tennis courts, and its softball fields were surrounded by rhubarb plants and gooseberry bushes.
Oh, gooseberries!
Catboats waited on the lake. Stewards catered elegant meals. Now they're just, doing whatever the fuck.
Yeah. It's just where they do coke, heroin, and just like fuck. Like that's.
Yeah. So then there's the bonesmen themselves. I mean, this is just another another list of just affluent people that are just going to go on to be presidents, CEOs, congressmen, head of Fortune 500 companies, the whole kind of thing.
Scrooge McDuck.
I think Flint Heart Glomgold would have been in this, not Scrooge McDuck. You're welcome.
Nice, dude. Yeah.
So a little bit on the qualifications for membership. If the society had a good year, this is what the ideal group will consist of: a football captain, a chairman of the Yale Daily News, a conspicuous radical, a whiffenpuff. I don't know what the fuck that is. Is that like a Hufflepuff?
Yeah, that is a Hufflepuff. Exactly.
Actually, it is. It's actually the Yale Whiffenpuffs. This actually is the inspiration for Hufflepuff. That's funny as hell.
Yeah.
A Whiffenpuff is a type of dragon. A swimming. Jesus Christ. It's all just covered and clothed in like an air of ridiculousness, so it doesn't seem so bad when you start eating people.
Yeah.
A swimming captain, a notorious drunk with a 94 average. All right.
That'd be me.
Okay. All right. A filmmaker, a political columnist, a religious group leader, a chairman of the Lit, a foreigner, a ladies' man with 2 motorcycles, an ex-serviceman, an African American, if there are enough to go around. What the fuck does that mean?
Jesus Christ, dude.
It's right here in quotes from 1968. Yeah, that's fucked up. Yeah, leave that in here. People should hear that. That's fucking crazy.
What was the one about a Litzman? What was it? The chairman? What was it?
Of the Lit, meaning the
But what was the full name? I know what you meant.
A chairman of the Lit.
Chairman of the Lit. That just sounds like a guy that gets everything lit. Like, you know what I mean? Like, he's like...
Now it does.
Yeah.
He lights the corpses on fire.
Yo, yeah, he does.
Dude, these guys are fucking... And then also wild. A guy nobody else in the group has heard of. Ever.
So they get all those other guys and then just a stranger.
Yeah.
Probably put a bag over his head. It's like old school, but with like,
Yeah, because it's like, who won't be missed? They just get a hobo off the street and then they light him on fire. And then they probably try to blame it on the black guy. Let's be honest. These fucking guys, man. It's nuts. I can't believe this is actually here in black and white. That's nuts. Yeah, because here it is. Yeah. Skull and Bones memberships was almost exclusively limited to white Protestant males. Yep. No Catholics were allowed. No Jews were allowed. Not until 1938 was the first African American tapped. He was a football player. Yeah. But he turned it down, and rightfully so.
Yeah, good for that.
He was
guy.
like, "Get the fuck out of here." Yeah. He was like, "I'm not doing an eyes wide shut kind of shit. I know what you guys are up to."
Yeah.
That guy made the right choice.
Yeah, he's like, "What? Show you my way above average dick in front of you guys, and like jerk off in the coffin, so you're all fucked up for the rest of your lives?" No.
Yeah. No, that guy went on to do good things. He was the first African American football captain at Yale University. He went on to be a head executive at Ford Motor Company. So,
hell yeah.
Yeah, he made it out.
I love that guy.
Fucking Bonesman. Do you think they all wear the Skelleboner now when they get together?
Look, if they don't, what a missed opportunity.
if that costume wasn't invented by them and then just released, they're like, let the peasants have fun with this one.
Yeah.
Oof.
And they pump it up like in the ceremonies. Like,
oh, Jesus Christ.
Flops up.
Yeah, this is so many people are said to have been members here. But, we've got, both Bushes, William Howard Taft, who was a son. He was the son of a founder of the entire thing. So he probably had a part of the Knights Templar treasure hoard.
Didn't he die in a bathtub?
Yes.
Fat idiot.
Oh, yeah. 2004. Yeah. Both John Kerry and George Bush were both Bonesmen. Holy shit.
Yeah. That was a fun election.
He was asked what it means. John Kerry said, quote, "Not much because it's a secret."
Yeah. Married the heiress to the Heinz ketchup.
She had
fortune.
more money. She had more money than he did. Come on, ketchup.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh yeah.
That's recession proof.
Yeah. That's everything proof.
Or even if you're on a diet, you're gonna get ketchup.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Fuck out of here. Ketchup money. That's the real. That's
ketchup money. That's the real fuck you money.
Fuck yeah, man. Money. Go anywhere in the in this country, any restaurant, any house, you're gonna have ketchup. That's the real money.
Yeah, and like,
not weed, not Coke, ketchup.
Yeah, ketchup. Go get yourself some Freedom fries somewhere.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna call them French fries.
Yeah, but not without ketchup.
Yeah, you're gonna have ketchup. Yeah.
Yeah. One of the last things I want to mention here is kind of interesting is that the names that they were that they bestowed on some of the members, right? Such as Long Devil, Boaz, Sharif. And all the names are apparently chosen from literature. Someone was known as Hamlet or Uncle Remus. There's a banker named Louis Lapham was known as Sancho Panza. That's the sidekick of Don Quixote.
Yeah. Do you get to pick your own name, or does someone?
No, I don't think so. I don't think so. We got some guy was named Thor.
Oh, that guy fucked.
Henry Luce. He owned Time, Life, Fortune, and Sports Illustrated magazines. Don't know his name, but that's probably on purpose.
Yep.
He was known as Ball. Dude, they're not even like subtle.
They don't care. So that guy's like, I own the news. Like, what are you talking about?
Dude, these guys are like deep state people. This next dude, I've never heard of this guy. McGeorge Bundy. Never heard of the dude. Was an advisor to Kennedy and Lyndon Johnson. Was known as Odin.
Yep.
And then George W was known as Magog. So something from the Bible, from Genesis.
Yeah, not Og and Magog, like
Magog, I guess. The second of the 7 sons of Japheth mentioned in the Table of Nations in Genesis.
That were also men and land. What the fuck? Oh, I get it. Because the oil fields. Because the oil fields, bro.
Yeah, there it is. I like that you're saying this with the planet background that you have right now.
I just faded into space. Oh my
they know what's up.
God.
Yep.
Oh, this is terrifying. This is so gross.
Yep. Even in George W. Bush's autobiography, he says, "In my senior year, I joined Skull and Bones, a secret society. So secret, I can't say anything more." That's it.
That's fucking so scary that he was Magon.
Yeah.
That is so scary, dude. I'm serious. Like, and then he went in and took control of Iraq.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, because his dad couldn't do it. Oh my.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that was his name in Skull and Bones, and they knew that was going to happen, dude.
Yeah. It's all preordained, Ken.
Yeah, it is. It is. I don't understand how anyone can like sit there and just like be. I understand a lot of people that are just like, I don't want to get into it because it's scary. But like, how do you just sit and like be like, yeah, this is all like, you know, we vote for who's in charge. Like I can't.
Yeah. Yep.
This episode, hopefully, guys, this is for all intents and purposes. This is satire. That's what this is.
Don't come for me, please.
Yeah, we're just two idiots. You know, that's all we are.
Yep.
Oh my God, dude, that's fucked up. That is so fucked up.
Yep. This is kind of interesting too, and this is it just kind of like encapsulates this whole thing. On the Wikipedia page for conspiracy theories under Skull and Bones, all it says is Skull and Bones is featured in books and movies which claim that the society plays a role in global conspiracy for world control. There have been rumors that Skull and Bones is a branch of the Illuminati, having been founded by German university alumni following the order's suppression in their native land by Karl Theodor, Elector of Bavaria, with the support of Frederick the Great of Prussia, or that Skull and Bones controls the CIA. And that's it. That's all that's written.
Well, yeah. I mean,
you mean all of that?
Because the first Bush, he was the head of the CIA, and he was also.
I can't remember. I can't remember what it was, but someone said that like when they made up the CIA or something, that CIA is actually an acronym or something, that it means something like, you know, Central Intelligence Agency, but like they refer to it as something else. The CIA stands for something else for them.
I'm sure it does.
What it is.
I'm sure it does. I'm sure they all do.
Yep.
Oh, God in heaven.
Yeah. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
It's like I in a way I wish I never got into like when I was 21. Like I wish I never like made the deep dive to find like all this stuff out. And like when I got to this stuff, I was kind of like, all right, secret society, blah, blah, blah. But like that last tidbit there with W, well, it's so fucked up.
It's honestly, it's not that it's not even like the realm of believability. It's like, no, this is what it is. And they clothe it in these like, you know, these rituals and these secrets to make it more like they enjoy the spookiness. You know what I mean? Yeah. They enjoy all of it. It's like, oh, we're all members of this secret club. You know, of course it is. And of course they're going to all be like, you know, scratching each other's backs and things like that. And it just, you know, I don't even think it's not even like, oh, is this believable? It's like, not only is it believable, but this is what it is. And of course they have these fucking societies.
Yeah.
And yeah, you know what? Throw some spookiness on it. Cause you know what? Fucking do what we want.
Yeah. And also cause like too, it's like a gargoyle on a church, you know?
Yeah.
It scares everything away.
Yeah.
Oh my God, dude.
Yeah, well, that's what I've got for Bohemian Grove and Skull and Bones.
Right. I guess going, you know, in our afterthought of these two, it's like, you know, it's weird too, because like a lot of like the cartels, they also surround themselves with like this mysticism and this witchcraft and these sacrifices and stuff. And it's like, because you got to be full in, man. You got to be full in.
Yeah. You know, blood in. You got to kill. You know, you got to kill somebody as soon as you try to get in, that kind of stuff. I mean, it's similar, but I think this is like, yeah, I know what you're saying there. It's, you know, they have this whole like, they have to add this like ritualistic, you know, kind of, spiritual, not spiritual, but like mystic kind of side of it to make it like, you know, to give it like more weight. You know what I mean? It's like, oh, well, here, engage in the rituals of our, you know, of our club or our, you know, society.
Yeah. Did you ever hear of that one college student that went? Well, a bunch of them did. One college student, they crossed over to Mexico and they were out drinking one night, and like he went to go take a piss. His buddies said they turned around and he was gone. Mm-hmm. And where they ended up finding, I think it was two of them, but there was a guy and a girl, but they ended up finding him. Yeah. In this one cartel's compound, where the reason they found his body was hollowed out, and it was burned. It was used for a ritual purpose. They put like like a metal stake through his spine to keep his head up after they disemboweled him, dismembered him, but his rib cage and his head was like poked up in the body, and they burned and did witchcraft. The reason they found his body was because one of the cartel members that was trafficking was in a high-speed chase, but he thought some of the rituals that he did granted him invisibility. So he was just acting reckless, and they ended up getting him, and so it led them, right, and it ended up leading him back to this compound where they found all these remains of all these kids, college students, that they used for ritual purposes, like all kinds of insane stuff, dude. And like, it just, that's where my head kind of goes to, like, that. Once again, that's a soft power. Like a cartel in another country, it's a softer power than it is like the royals. You know what I mean? Right. But they just go, okay, this is how power is established and kept. Yeah. You know what I mean? Sure. And it's been going on since Egyptian times, like ancient Egyptian times. What an idiot!
Fucking Egyptian times.
Yeah, fucking back in Egyptian times. You know, like back in ancient Egypt, this is the stuff they were doing. Like, you know, even Mayan tradition, like this was how.
I mean, it makes sense for any kind of organization or any kind of thing that, you know, going to have people belong to. You come up with these rituals and these, you know, these events and these hierarchies and things, and it just, it gives it more weight. You know, it helps organize the whole thing. But then the air of spookiness and secrecy is what makes it, you know, like, oh well, what's going on in there? And it's just like, well, you're not a member. Yeah. And it's just, you know, it starts from there. And I think
it's not cheap beer. It's not cheap beer.
No. And, you know, they're grooming them for this whole lifestyle, right? Because it's like, you know, get used to these, you know, closed door deals and these, you know, being at these tables that only have 10 to 12 people at them. Yeah. It's going to be small, and it's
get used to keeping your mouth fucking shut.
Yeah. Or, you know, just learn to, you know, like the way that they have in their club, it's like they go by time that's, you know, starts from a different year, and clocks are 5 minutes off. It's like, well, this is the real time that we do. So it's like totally makes sense that this is what these fucking people are into.
Yeah, it does totally make sense. And also, like they're like, look, you're gonna encounter a shapeshifter in here, and you can't talk about it. Yeah. Unless you're on Howard Stern.
They're like the servitors for these fucking people. Like they come in, they clean up after all their fucking wacky parties. They clean up at Bohemian Grove. You know, I would like to. I'll have to look it up, and just for my own, like, you know, entertainment. Like I like to see a cross section. All people that were members of Skull and Bones who are also members of Bohemian Grove.
It's probably a pretty high percentage, my friend.
You go from drinking whatever blood to drinking alien blood.
That is the step up.
Right.
They hunt down all the cryptids. That's why they're so hard to find.
Oh, they're gone. Yeah, Bigfoot's probably all gone because they hunted them all down because, you know, he had some kind of like...
In that underground facility, they breed them.
It's possible.
And they, you know, they keep some of them out in the wilds to, you know, maybe maintain some cryptid couth. You know?
Something like that.
Dude,
keep the oats wild, as they say.
Exactly. And like I know I sound silly, and I know it is silly. Mm-hmm. I just have to be like, this is all connected. Like I have to. Like, yeah. At this point, when you get to this point, like it's not one hand washes the other. It's the dirty hand makes the other hand dirtier.
Well, it's all been admitted. I mean, the stuff that's been admitted, there is no question here. I mean, we know that these things are all these two things are connected. These two clubs, groups, societies, they are connected 100%.
I'm not just saying that. Like at this point, it's
UFOs,
like
and ghosts and
shit. It's like, what am I to believe, dude? Like, you know what I mean? Like at this point, it's like it's so nuts. It's so nuts, and like I want to say, like, okay, so in reality, the secret society stuff I got into when I was 21. I'm 37 now. My brain has been worked over so much from like finding this stuff out that like You know, and I remember like talking to you about this stuff like years ago, and like you two are even just like just shut up, like, you know, like, because you have the skull and bone, you got some stuff, you know, and like
We'll talk about that another time.
yeah, but still in the same breath, like I was like, well, what about this? And you're like, it's lunacy, it's nuts, and like I get it, and I probably should have held that stance for a long time, because now I'm just at a point where I'm like, yeah, there's invisible tanks that shoot ghosts, and like it's like, you know.
You heard it here first, folks. Invisible tanks that shoot ghosts.
They use ghosts as ammunition, and they shoot at ghosts.
Oh, okay. I was gonna say they're using ghosts as ammunition to shoot down UFOs.
That too.
Spectral tanks.
Yeah, spectral tanks. They use ghost bullets, ghost artillery, and they.
Is that what they use to shoot down Zip Zap and Gleecorp?
That's how they got them down the first time.
Okay,
but those resourceful fucks, you know.
Yeah. They created a shield and they were able to escape Bohemian Grove with the help of Mothman and the Phantom Patriot.
Yeah, yeah, and then they made a quick stop.
Yep.
At the Allagash.
Incident. They were like, you know what, real quick, I just want to spin Chuck Rack's rib cage around.
Yeah, I was just say they worked over Chuck Rack real quick.
Worked him over. Yeah. They tuned him up.
Yeah, they tuned him up real good. The Phantom Patriot was laughing and high-fiving Mothman.
Yeah, while swinging his sword around, or nunchucks, whatever.
At first, the Phantom Patriot wanted to like, I gotta save this guy. This is an American. But then the Mothman was like, do you know what he did? You know, like, and they tell him, and he's like, oh, fuck that piece of fuck, you know.
Yeah, he's an art student. Oh, kill him. They're all art students on a camping trip, and they just looked at each other like, ew.
Yeah.
What?
Really?
Why?
What are they doing?
Yeah, I don't know. I could tell you, folks, art students.
Great self-deprecation there, buddy.
Mm-hmm.
I love to see it.
Yeah. It's fun.
Oh man.
Yeah, man. I mean, I think this is just going to be an ongoing series where we just go down rabbit holes, because I think we've filled this fucking episode with some pretty. Hey, I love this. I love this stuff. I really do, because it's like, when you have that much money and power, you start doing things to make things more and more exclusive for yourself, because the more money you get and more power you get, the more you disdain poor people. Mm-hmm. So you want to create more and more distance between you and them.
Ugh.
It's gross.
Yeah, it is gross. It totally is.
So whether there's alien DNA and ghosts and cryptids or not, it's fucking gross. I'm sure they're doing some really heinous shit at these things. I'm sure, but
we'll never know. Testing
we'll never know
on the heads of criminals.
Yeah, yep, testing all sorts of things. Like, they were like, what's fucked up? I got an idea. The 2019 meeting. All right.
Yeah.
You want to just, like, I don't know, fucking release a Chinese virus?
Kill, like, everyone.
Yeah. Like, tell Alex Jones about it. No one will believe us.
Yeah, right. Send everything to Alex Jones. He gets stuff right sometimes, but they're at the point where it's like, this guy's like Weekly World News. Just give it to him.
You know what? Send him the full story, but add in one fucked up thing that's not a fact. Just so people are like, wait a minute, but you said this, and this isn't true. And he's like, who's in there?
Yeah. They're like, tell him it came from people eating bat guts. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. That was the official narrative. I'm sorry.
Watch out, folks. We'll come back next week for the COVID conspiracy episode. No, we won't do that.
No.
Because I could be more bored.
Yeah, exactly. Fuck that shit. Anyway, I guess we're on to the closing statement period or section here. I don't even know what I got, man, because it's just like this is like power and evil incarnate. I feel. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, even if you just like hold it and keep it to like earthly, complete, like logical things. Yeah. This is evil shit.
Yeah.
It totally is, because they're unfettered. They can do whatever the fuck they want, and when you can do whatever the fuck you want, shit gets crazy.
Yeah. Let's just say that none of like the funny or crazy shit that we said, like, they're not eating people, they're not doing anything else.
Yeah.
It, in a nutshell, it's evil.
Oh yeah, because it just seeks to, limit everyone's freedoms. It seeks to, more centralized power to the federal government. We're gonna get shut down for this episode.
Yeah. I got a weird feeling, but whatever, man.
No, this is logical shit, man. I mean,
Yeah.
this is just the consolidation of power has been the aim of every group of power that's been around since the dawn of man. So to think that they're not doing it now is crazy. They are doing it. They're successfully doing it. And guess what? There's nothing we can do about it.
Nothing. There's not a single thing that we can do.
Nope. Sometimes they try to, declassify documents to let us know that the aliens are here. Or maybe it's just a joke just to get us fucking, talking about bullshit. Oh, well.
Yeah.
We'll never know because we're just peons.
We are. It's like, just drink up, man. Like, that's all. Like, try to enjoy whatever, life you got.
Yep.
Whatever is out there, try to enjoy it. We're not of royal blood.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like enjoy video games, movies, and shows while you can until they take that away. And then
maybe you never know.
You never know. And then they're already changing the quality of all of it. It all sucks now. So like, at this point, we just gotta
I think at this point it's just Happy Thanksgiving, folks.
Yeah, right.
Well, you'll be hearing this after the fact. Hopefully you had it. Happy Thanksgiving. If you're a listener who has ties to the Illuminati, the Skull and Bones, Bohemian Grove, what's the other one? The Bilderbergs.
Yeah, the Bilderbergs.
The Five Eyes.
The Rockefellers.
Yep. The Trilateral Commission.
Yeah.
Any of those people.
Just leave us alone. It was all fun. Just hopefully you joked.
And I hope you guys had a good Thanksgiving. Hope that guy that you hope you didn't have to chase down the guy that you ate.
Yeah, right. And for our next episode, what really happened at Thanksgiving? It was just
Jesus Christ. Nothing, because it didn't really happen.
Yeah, no, it didn't. This is actually ancient Egypt. Did you hear that one?
Turkey and potatoes. What?
Did you hear that one? That like the new one that's out is like America is ancient Egypt.
In what way?
In that it is like we're being lied to. Like I swear to God, that's one. That's. Yeah.
What? I don't understand. You have to explain it a little more. We are ancient Egypt?
This land that we're on is the actual ancient Egypt. All the other stuff, like where Egypt is, it's all a plant. Like it's all like
and dinosaur bones were put in the earth by Satan to test our faith.
Well, this isn't a Christian one.
That one's true. I'm talking about.
I'll tell you who. This one is later. But no.
That's just, dude. That's why you got to be careful with this kind of shit because when nothing means nothing, then anyone can just say weird shit like
nothing. Nothing is nothing.
Yeah. No. I'm gonna see if I can collect some wacky shit during Thanksgiving because they don't listen. My in-laws are crazy. And I'm gonna. They got really good religious ones. I'm gonna.
Oh, nice. I should have gave you my recorder just to leave at the table.
If I don't know, if I had any sense of self-preservation, and I do, I would never bring my mother-in-law on this podcast because it would be the wildest shit you people have ever heard in your life. Like visionaries, apocalypse premonitions.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Secret books.
Yeah.
Angels speaking to people.
Gigas Maximus or whatever Maximus.
Oh, the Codex Gigas. That's just a big Bible.
Yeah, right. It was just some guy who was locked in a tower, an old monk. That just
he was just like, I'm going to draw fucking devils up here.
Yeah.
They probably had a huge D&B, and they're like, fuck, we better erase this. Anyway, we're getting off topic now.
Yeah, anyway, guys. So we hope you enjoy this episode. Please don't come after us. We were just having fun.
No, and a shout out to the listeners. All right, so we can't do for Thanksgiving because this will be after the fact, but I say going forward for Christmas, see if you can get your weirdest family member to start talking about some of this weird shit. Every family's got that member. Yeah. You talk, it's like, so what do you think about this? Because I have a relative that I won't see for a long time, but he is convinced about the shape-shifting reptilians. We got to get him on here. But
what's his weird thing?
What, that they don't shape shift?
What's his weird?
What's weird about that?
Yeah, what do you mean? But you said he had a weird take on something. I don't. What is
that? They're in control of all the Earth's governments, and that Hillary Clinton is a reptile.
Okay, what's weird? What are you talking about? What opinion of his is weird?
Dude, I should collect them all and just give them all like fake names, like this member of my family will call.
The names have been changed to protect the innocent,
and just make it rhyme with their real name.
It's Schmelly and Kelly. Like, well, guys out there, collect some wacky Thanksgiving stories. And you're going to hear this after Thanksgiving. We're recording this the day before, so it's not like we're
Christmas.
We're not like shelving episodes like certain podcasts are doing now.
Like every podcast out there because they know the ship's fucking sinking.
Yeah, right.
Another conspiracy theory.
So collect some stories, send them in. We'll gladly read them and laugh and laugh and laugh.
Two Bears, One Cave is a government psyop.
Yeah, to make Bert Kreischer famous. That guy sucks.
Hate that guy.
Yeah, same. All right, guys. Well, for this episode of Other Dangerous Podcast.
It's been weird, guys.
Yeah, it's been weird. I've been Shmen Schmames.
I got nothing. I've been Jason McKinney.
He's been Agent Star.
Yes.
And this has been Other Dangerous Podcast. And as always... Thank you for listening to Other Dangerous Podcasts. Have you encountered the other dangers? If so, you can email us at otherdangerouspodcast@gmail.com. And if you'd like to have a discussion about the paranormal, you can find us at Other Dangerous Podcast on Facebook and Instagram. There you can find submitted pictures, videos, and artwork from listeners. We are now streaming on YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and anywhere else podcasts are streamed. And after listening, please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe so we can continue to bring you the other dangers.